Hi,
Hello!
my name's Chuck. Your name's Olivia.
My name is Olivia Millershin, yes.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Chuck.
How old are you?
I'm 22 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Getting up there.
So, what I'm thinking about is when you were 6, 7, 5, when you were first maybe a little older than that, did you think that you'd be where you're at now in life?
I think I always hoped it. I actually found a little drawing I made in first grade, and it was when I grow up I want to be, and I had a singer written on it. Yeah, there was a brief part of my life where I wanted to be a soccer player, but thank goodness it passed. So.
Did your parents encourage you, or how did you? Were they musically inclined?
They both love music. They're just huge music appreciators, and they're both actually pretty good musicians too. But my grandma actually studied opera, and so when I found out about that, I kind of wanted to start getting into classical voice and things.
Oh, nice. So you started studying classical voice?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's some of the great rockers of the world have started there.
Oh yeah, almost all of the super huge voices you hear. I mean, I'm not one of them, but a lot of like Freddie Mercury, I guess, had a huge classical background, and yeah.
Is your grandmother still alive?
Oh yeah.
Well, what does she think?
I think she's. I don't know. You'd have to ask her. I don't want to speak for her. She comes to almost all my shows.
Oh, she does?
So I hope she likes it. Otherwise, she's just putting herself through torture.
You were on America's Got Talent, but you started appearing before large crowds before that.
Yeah.
About what age was that?
I went on my first tour when I was 15 years old. I was opening for another singer-songwriter more well-known than I was even close to, and then from there I just started. He gave my name to a bunch of other artists and going on tour with a bunch of different people.
Oh, nice. So you got your stage presence. Is that how you got your stage presence, or were you in school or in church, or did you do anything before that? Or?
I was always in choirs and things like that, but I don't know about stage presence. I feel like I still don't have that. I'm always working on it.
Yeah, I think I noticed when you were practicing over there, you sometimes thought you weren't doing real good, but I'm in the audience, and I thought you were really doing real fine.
Messing around.
Yeah. So, what year were you on America's Got Talent?
Oh gosh, I think 2014.
14? Well, how did you happen to do that?
I left school. No, I was asked to audition, and it kind of was just like a lucky sort of shot, and I was I had it for the summer, and so I was like, I'm free, might as well just try it out.
Oh, nice. So where did you audition? What city?
Indianapolis. I was going to school at Cincinnati Conservatory at the time.
So you're really not that far away.
No.
Oh,
it was
good.
Like an hour,
Good.
hour and a half.
So you went with a band you knew, or no? Or you went with yourself?
I was asked to go as a solo act, but I really didn't feel comfortable doing that just because I've seen a lot of my friends go on reality TV shows alone, and I think it's better to go in a group sort of setting. So I asked a couple of my friends at the time if we'd form a small band for the show, and choose a completely different name that didn't relate to any of our own music. So rights weren't involved with any of that.
Oh, nice. So you probably went. Was it kind of like American Idol, or where it's
very very similar.
So what song did you do?
They gave us a couple of choices.
So you could plug in and everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
okay.
did a couple pop songs. The first song we did was called Pompeii by Bastille, and then I don't know.
That's okay.
Pop songs, but it's all a blur now.
So then, what did they say to you? Did they give you a call back?
Yeah, they gave us a call back. We were really lucky. They gave us a call back. You have to audition like 4 or 5 times typically.
Oh, you do?
Before you even get on the show. And luckily we made it to the show. And by that time you've already run your song for 100 producers. So yeah.
So then you go on the show, and then you have to. Who were the judges at that time?
That was Heidi Klum, Howie Mandel, Howard Stern, and Mel B from the Spice Girls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you get on with any of them that you liked a lot, or?
They were all really kind to us. I was surprised how nice they were. I think probably Howard Stern was the nicest to us.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I've always liked him.
Yeah, he was great.
Seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
So then you got the the chance to come back and play, and you go on stage and you perform, and then other people are eliminated, probably.
Right. Right. We watch people. We made it to the quarterfinals or so, and so we saw lots of people get cut, and we almost got cut ourselves, and so that's kind of like high tension. But we went into it with the mindset of we're gonna just play as much as we can and do what we do best, and hope that it works out.
How far? So you went to the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Do you remember who won that? What kind of act?
Oh my gosh, it was a magic act.
Oh, wow.
Matt Franco, I believe his name was.
Oh, I think I've heard of
Really
that name.
talented magician, yeah.
And so you're on the show and you get cut, but in the meantime, do they put you through rigorous training exercises? How was that? I would think.
Yeah. I don't know what it's like for other acts, but for the music-specific acts, they put us in a couple of weeks of training and vocal training and constant interviews. I would say like 10 hours of interviews a day or something.
Did it help? Do you think it helped, or was it distracting, you think?
I think probably both. Like it's always kind of stressful for me when I'm like ready to go on stage, but then they say, "Oh wait, never mind. Let's pull you aside and ask you a bunch of questions." And then by the time you're done with those, you're exhausted. Or
What kind of questions did they ask?
about our backgrounds and what led us there and how we formed the band. Just like simple stuff. But after a while, it just keeps going on and on. You know.
You kind of can't have any more answers.
Right. Yeah, they all start to sound the same, but that's
So,
okay.
so were you kind of famous in your hometown? What's your hometown? Southfield?
My hometown is Rochester, Michigan.
Oh, Rochester.
We
Okay.
got one guy in our band who's from Southfield.
Okay.
Yes, very famous. No. There was a very short time where I could go to Chipotle or something like that, and somebody would be like, "Oh," but they didn't know how they knew me. They were just like, "I know your face."
Yeah, I know your face.
But no, never famous. Just in my household, I always say.
Who do you? Well, this is a kind of a dual question. Who do you like out there in male and or female or groups that's out and about, or who do you listen to?
Kind of a mix of everything. I really like a lot of the songwriters from like the 60s, 70s. But nowadays I'm listening to a lot of jazz. It seems like Nora Jones is just
Oh, I love her.
an
Yeah.
absolute favorite. There's so many good people out right now. I'm actually listening to a lot of hip hop and things like that because James, the trombone player in my group, listens to that. So I'm trying to broaden my horizon or something.
Who do you think that if you were to put you with 3 or 4 other people in just the voice, that people would say she sounds like them or they sound like her?
I get Regina Spektor a lot and sometimes Nora Jones, but I think people are just trying to be nice. Ingrid Michaelson, Queen. No, nothing like Queen. No. I'm trying to think of something really
Freddie
absurd.
Mercury, right?
Right. No, that's about it. But
So you're getting a little more into jazz, it sounds like. Toledo's kind of a jazz headquarters of the world with Art Tatum, and we've got a nice big jazz scene here. Who have you met in the industry that maybe has been an influence or given you a pattern or a path to go to? Anyone? Besides Howard Stern?
Besides Howard Stern. It's weird because there's so many. The industry's so massive that you meet 500 people and like 10 of them are actually in the industry, but they all say they're in the industry.
They're all hangers-on or
Right.
wannabes or something,
Right.
huh?
Or they just do it as like a hobby or something, which is just as cool. But I'd say my band, I don't know, they're all kind of, I think they're working in the industry, and they always inspire me to be a better musician.
What are your band members' names? Bob?
Bob Mervek is on keys.
Yes.
Brian Riley on guitar and James Pine on trombone.
How long have you played with the folks?
Kind of separately for a long time. Each of them probably 6-7 years, but we've just started working as a band, really getting the sound down in the past like 2-3 years.
Well, good. Thanks for coming to Toledo or Maumee and
this is
gracing us
awesome.
with what you have. So you've been asked 10,000 questions, especially by the AGT team. But on interviews, what question do you think people really are most interested in that you've been able to answer because maybe they've asked that a number of times? That would be one way. And another one be what question, a second part of it, what question didn't people ask that you really probably had a real good answer for or would have enlightened people?
Wow. The question that they do ask a lot is how I describe my sound. I think like it's one thing to hear it from somebody else's mind, because when we're doing it, we don't really realize what it is. We just I make whatever comes out, and so when I have to describe it, it's a bit of a challenge. But I think it forces me to kind of put together.
What is that description?
Gosh, no. It's like I always say singer-songwriter pop jazz. It's slowly going more and more towards the burlesque and jazz side of things. But up until now, it's been like folk pop. Yeah.
So, and you're also, I hear you're going to play a wedding in the next day or two?
Oh yeah, we have a wedding tomorrow, and then we have another show the next day, and yeah.
How is your schedule right now? Is it kind of hectic, or is it kind of easy to deal with?
It's a little crazy right now. We were just wrapping up a tour, a Southeast tour, so we've been on the road for about 2.5 weeks.
What are some of the places?
We started in Columbus, Ohio, made our way all the way down. Furthest south we went was Atlanta, Charleston, Nashville. Yeah, kind of.
What kind of places are you playing?
Mostly venues, mostly like some smaller clubs, and it's really cool because there are rooms that people don't even know about, but they're just the best kept secrets.
What are some? Can you remember any that you really liked in your career? You say, wow, the crowd was good and the house was good, the venue was good.
Yeah.
Anything stick out?
There are a couple. There's a spot in Oberlin, Ohio, actually called River Dog Retreat, and they get all the best folk acts. There's incredible musicians there, and they have a beautiful barn that they host all their shows in. So that place is really just special because you don't run across that sort of thing. It's sort of word of mouth only.
Oh, I've never heard of it.
Oh, it's special. I highly recommend you go there. They've got.
What's the name of it? River Dog?
River Dog Retreat. Yeah.
Retreat in Oberlin.
Yep.
Okay, good. So you're in your early 20s, and you've traveled. Many people that you went to high school with have never left the state. What do you think you could give these people from what you've learned? Any life or road experiences or music experiences that say, well, I kind of learned this, and I wouldn't have learned it hadn't I been going through what I've been going through.
Right. Gosh. I feel like everyone's always teaching me stuff. I feel like I've gone all over the place, but I still know just a little bit of what I need to know in this world. I guess I would just say that no matter where you're at, people are all the same. They just want honesty and kindness, and that's the best thing I can
Honesty and kindness.
Yep.
Yes.
It's relatable.
Do you have a musical platform you like? Pandora, Spotify, anything in particular you care for?
Pandora and Spotify are like the new age ones, and I'm the oldest 22-year-old in the whole world. I don't use the internet nearly as much as I should. I use I like physical CDs and vinyl, but probably Spotify quite a bit.
Spotify?
Yeah.
How's your fan base? Do you have a fan club with your YouTube with your Facebook page?
Yeah, my mom is the
Isn't
leader of
that
my
nice?
fan club. No. I do have a fan page on Facebook, and it's mainly just for business, so I can spread the word about when we're coming to town and things like that.
Good. So is your music available on? How can people get your music besides CD?
It is on. Gosh, I used to have this down. Amazon, iTunes, CD Baby. It's on Spotify and Pandora. It's on every major music site. Bandcamp. My website's got all my physical CDs.
Do you record it at home?
I used to record. I actually started recording in a friend's basement, but I did my most recent record in New York, with two producers that I met out there that I really admired. So
That's kind of a move back up to
Yeah.
like the America's Got Talent, where you've got the sound equipment and the people who know what they're doing.
right.
So, what's your future? You're gonna keep on playing music? You want to get married? You want to go to school? You had thought much about it?
I went to school for a year at Cincinnati Conservatory of Music, and I loved it. But I was I was flying out every weekend to go play this show and open this show, and so I found I was losing a lot of money and a lot of opportunity. So I left with the idea that I would always go back, but I just haven't had time to yet. So if one day the opportunity presents itself, I would love to go back to school. I've been dating the same guy for 6 years, so eventually we'll have to get married.
Yeah, you
And,
probably have
he's
to get
stuck
married.
with me. I hope he is at this point. So that I think those things will always just like fall into place. I have total faith in that sense. I hope to do what I do now for the rest of my life, but just on a little bit of a bigger scale.
Oh, nice. So, have you got any things in the future that you think that is going to make any changes besides just the plodding along that you have to do in the business?
Yeah. Gosh, I keep asking other people to tell me what I'm gonna do next. I don't know. I'm hoping to maybe do another project, not necessarily the Olivia Millerson project that I do now, but instead like a more pushing it even more into the jazz, the modern jazz sort of field, because I feel like that's kind of a type of music that's
You mean,
not lost, but
Well, I heard your Summertime, which I thought was really good.
Oh, yeah. That's
you,
fun.
you like that kind of
oh yeah,
stuff?
all the standards. It's the thing. The guys in my band are so good that I like to kind of let them show off.
I was listening to Bob now, and I had listened to a YouTube video with him, and he's great on vocals. He's great on the keyboards. He's a good partner to be with.
Oh yeah.
One question here that I think that I talk to a lot of people in your business about is your memory. And I saw up there while you were practicing that you could pull some Elvis out of the sky and remember the
Oh, yeah.
lyrics. How did you always do that when you were younger, or did it something you've been learning, practicing? Or?
Yeah, I've got a good like melodic memory. I don't know where it I used to sing people's phone numbers back before you had digital everything. And so I had 500 phone numbers just memorized in my head. And to this day, I'm pretty good with names. The guys always ask me for names because I think lyrics are just like, especially when you put them to a melody, it's just kind of second nature to a lot of musicians. Yeah.
How much of the work that you put out is your own?
All of the stuff that I've put out is my own writing.
I mean that when you go to a concert like this, about
Oh.
half of it will be your own, you think?
I'd say the majority. We usually do 1 or 2 covers, depending on what people want to hear out in the crowd.
What is the favorite? This is a dual question.
Sure.
What is the favorite one that you do that you've made, and what is the favorite that someone else that you're covering?
Favorite of my own, there's a song that I wrote called Ellie, which is from a couple of years ago, or from this new record, but a couple of years ago. And it's all about this man who lived in New York City and lived in the same house his whole life, died and left everything to a woman that he was engaged to when he was 20. But they never married because he didn't want to do a prenup, and her mother wanted one. So I thought, that one I always get, it sounds narcissistic, but I always get choked up by that one, just the story in general. And then the favorite one of other people's, gosh. Lately I've been really we've been covering some songs that Chet Baker does really well. There's one that he has called It's Always You. It's very understated, but it's just super lovey, and
Do you think
gets me.
is there a balance more toward the words and the meaning and the emotions, or the musicality? Is it maybe it's always a blend, but it seems from what you're saying that the emotion of the words is that you write is quite important.
Yeah, seems like lyrically I'm like that's what's
You come up with the lyrics first?
I do them at the same. Typically, I think like whatever's bothering you or making you happy on the inside will just like happen. Because whenever I try to force something to happen, it never does. So typically, I'll do like write the music, and then just let whatever I need to say over the top of it.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice. Do you collaborate with anyone else, or you usually do this yourself?
I've never collaborated with anyone else on writing. I have like for other people, but not for my own music. Yeah, I'm hoping to kind of dive into that and see what we can do, but nothing yet.
Well, we've had quite a bit of fun tonight talking and having a
Yeah.
conversation. I'm wondering, is there anything you think that should be said that has